By now, a lot of people have decided that a smartwatch is not something they need. But is that really justified? What can 130 euros get you in a smartwatch in 2018? Hey, I'm Brian, and this is my experience with the Ticwatch E. First, I want to say that this isn't just a review of a specific product, but also my experience with an Android Wear watch in general. But let's start with the watch itself. The metal tin looks pretty cool, and in it you'll find the watch and a magnetic charging cable. Setup is pretty easy with the Wear OS app, and the watch updated itself quite a bit after the first boot. After the setup is done, you can pretty much forget about said app on your phone, by the way. The Ticwatch E is entirely plastic, and it doesn't feel very premium, even if it's soft touch plastic. But I guess at this price you can't really complain, and it's also IP67 certified, so you can jump in the pool with it without it dying. And I at least like the minimal aesthetic that goes well with a lot of watch bands. The basic rubber band on the watch can be swapped out for any standard 22mm strap. This is something I would pay attention to when buying a smartwatch. On the back of the little puck you find a heart rate monitor and the pins for charging. On the side is a button, notably on the left side, which means that it won't hurt you if you wear the watch on your left wrist like most, and the front is fully taken up by the screen. This is a perfectly circular OLED touchscreen with a resolution of 400 by 400. I think the sharpness is actually not unbelievably high, and the glass above the display distorts the image a little bit at the edges. You can see what I mean in the Google Fit app. The colors are nice though, and the blacks are very deep, which is important for the display in always on mode. It also gets very bright. I'll get to battery life later. Inside the watch, there isn't the familiar Snapdragon 2100, but a MediaTek dual-core paired with 512MB of RAM and 4GB of storage. Pretty standard for a smartwatch, but plenty to run the interface smoothly. It does have GPS, but no NFC for mobile payments with Google Pay. This is something I wish I could have tried. And I guess this brings us pretty well into the software and user experience. This watch doesn't run the newest Wear OS 2.1 yet, an update should be right around the corner though. And the only thing that changes anyway is that it puts Google Fit on the right of the home screen, the Google Feed on the left, and makes the notifications a little more compact. For now you find some quick settings by swiping down, handy for putting it to do not disturb when you're not wearing it, because the vibration is a little annoying then. A swipe up shows you your notifications. Coming from a pretty rudimentary fitness tracker that also showed notifications, this is a big step up. You get all the notifications just as they show up on your phone, and you can pretty easily read the full notification and even answer it with either a set of suggested replies based on the text, your voice, or the swipe keyboard. Voice works pretty much flawlessly, and the keyboard does a pretty good job too when you don't want to talk. You'll be surprised. I didn't find the option to draw letters very useful though, and you can't add multiple languages. So if you want to answer a message in a different language from the one the watch is set to, you'll have to pull out your phone because you can't get around autocorrect. Non-native English speakers will know what I'm talking about. You also have to set the watch to English for UK if you want Celsius. There's no other way to change that. Of course, this watch does much more than just notifications. Holding down the side button brings you to the Google Assistant. You can then ask your question and get the answer on the screen. Mostly this works well, but sometimes it's a little slow. It has to pull the information through Bluetooth from your phone after all. You just press the button once to get to apps, some of which are more useful than others. It's great to have a watch version of apps I also use on my phone, like Google Play Music, Shazam, or my Notes or ski tracking app. I also really like that I can track my activities with the running app I would normally use on my phone and then have it sync with that automatically, unlike fitness bands that don't really give you any freedom in the fitness app you use. The activities also automatically feed into Google Fit as well, by the way, so you have all your health and fitness data in one place, even if you use a different running app. Speaking of running, the GPS on here is much more accurate than on a phone, and it also doesn't lose the precision as easily. Of course, your heart rate is also constantly monitored while being active. Through the day, your steps and heart health are tracked, but don't let yourself be commanded by the notifications that tell you to get up and exercise when you have work to do. After all, 10,000 steps a day are not always possible, but 70,000 a week is pretty easy. I use the Google Fit watch face that shows me all the data at a glance. There are handy complications you can add. They are like little widgets for certain apps. So you can put the weather or Shazam button there, for example. If you don't like this watch face though, there are a ton to choose from the Play Store. You download an app for the watch on itself, by the way. The Play Store is easy enough to use on your wrist. I also quickly want to touch on battery life on this watch. 1 day is pretty much no problem, you may even get close to 2, but only if you keep the always on display off and the brightness below the maximum. Otherwise, it's only 1 day. Flicking your wrist to show the time doesn't always work great, by the way. Charging is very fast though, I would say about an hour for a full charge. I wish it charged with Qi though. So do I think a Wear OS smartwatch is something you should have in 2018? There are things that are very convenient, like not having to pull out your phone for notifications, the health features, and also the way activity tracking is handled with your favorite apps. It's definitely better than a normal fitness tracker, and if you're looking for a new watch, you should definitely look at the smart options as well. There's some really good stuff here, a useful addition to an Android phone for sure. If you have an iPhone, get an Apple Watch instead. The Ticwatch E in particular is a pretty good starting point because the price isn't higher than a Fitbit, but it does so much more and actually looks like a normal watch. But if you want something more premium that also has better battery life and NFC, you might want to look elsewhere. Fossil has some pretty good options with the Q 4th generation and the Skagen Falster 2. The Ticwatch E has me hooked on smartwatches, so I'm excited to test out those at some point. If you enjoyed this video, you know which buttons to press, and don't forget to press that follow button on Twitter. I'm Brian, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.